All right, we have to talk. This is a more serious type of video. Um, just because after like 2 months of not really saying much to anyone except like my close friends, I actually get to open up a little. For the past 2 months, I've been having a really, really bad time. Physically, mentally, spiritually, all of the kinds that you can be. I was having the worst 2 months of my life. I have an autoimmune disease. Now, we have to go back to May 30th. I went to a friend's party, and I was feeling absolutely fine the whole day. Went to the party, I had a blast. As I was driving myself home, I had noticed that my chest started to hurt. Like, really bad. It felt like something was squeezing my chest like really, really hard. I could like barely breathe. It like hurt to breathe, but I kind of just brushed it off because my mentality, I was like, oh, everyone gets those random pains that is totally normal. That just comes out of nowhere, causes you a bit of pain, and then goes away. I don't know if that's normal. It doesn't seem like it's normal if it's not normal. But I got home, I went to bed with like no issues that night other than that. And then I woke up the next morning and my legs were covered in hives. This has never happened to me before, so this is very random. At first, maybe I thought I was exposed to something because I had never been over to my friend's house before, so I'm like, it's a new environment that I've never been in, so maybe it's something like that. So I waited to see if it would, like, go away. Obviously, like, I took a shower that night, scrubbed my body, and that was that. But it didn't. It actually got worse. And then after 3 days of itchy hives and chest pain, I went to urgent care. They basically told me they couldn't really identify what was causing the hives because many things could cause hives. So they sent me home with ointment and then a referral to go see an allergist. Now, there was a problem with seeing the allergist. The next available appointment wasn't until the next month. I had no other choice but to try to get through June. And then while I was waiting, my symptoms got worse. It got to a point where it got really bad that I had to start calling out of work because of what was happening to me. And I was trying everything: anti-itch sprays, creams, hot and cold baths, Epsom salt, literally everything. Anything that would give me like a little bit of relief, I was on it. And then I thought, maybe there's something in my house that is causing these hives. So I deep cleaned everything. But it still was acting up. So the next logical point was, maybe it's something I'm eating. So I changed my diet. I had noticed that sometimes when I would eat or drink something, the hives would intensify or start appearing. So I started cutting foods out, like a lot of foods. Eventually, I was basically only eating ramen and drinking water because I was just so desperate to figure out what was potentially triggering it. There was one morning where I woke up and my whole face was swollen. At that point, I had started taking Benadryl in hopes it would let the swelling go down and let inflammation go down, and that helped so much. So I started taking Benadryl every single day. Eventually, my allergist appointment did come. After a whole long and miserable June, my appointment came. And when I got in there, I explained everything in full detail on what was happening and also showed photos of my hives and my swollen face. After all of that, they had said that it's not an allergy. It's an autoimmune disease. And at this point, I've only really heard of autoimmune diseases. I absolutely knew nothing about autoimmune diseases. An autoimmune disease is when your immune system mistakenly attacks your own healthy cells and tissues instead of just protecting you from things like viruses and bacteria. So that's what my body started doing. and they had sent me to go get labs. Now, I had gone to get labs, and I also made sure they would send it to my own doctor because I was keeping her updated on everything that was happening. And at this point, I've waited almost another full month to hear what it was. And it was a really, really long month, but I was doing it. I was making sure I was taking care of my body because I've already come a long way of a lot of hurt, itching, late nights, not being able to sleep, unanswered questions. But I had done my research in that month to figure out, okay, what could it be? And I had narrowed it down to 2 autoimmune diseases: Graves' disease or Hashimoto's disease. 2 months of trying to keep my life normal while in the background I was suffering from whatever this was. I got my answer. It's Hashimoto disease. Hashimoto disease is an autoimmune disorder where the immune system attacks the thyroid glands. My thyroid levels are far from normal. For the very specific tests that I had to get done, I was told that the average range is 34. I tested at 165. These past 2 months were the most difficult ones I had to deal with. Not only was I dealing with a bunch of other stuff happening in my life, but this was the key thing that literally almost made me quit. While I was still going through this, I kept trying to work. I kept trying to create videos. I was still doing what I wanted to do. Now, thankfully, Hashimoto's disease is treatable. But this isn't the end of the story. This is just a new chapter that I'm starting. Hopefully, I can get back to normal, if there even is a normal. I also want to thank everyone that I did tell and everyone who saw me go through this struggling time that I went through. Their support and their love means the world to me, and the fact that most of them were very, very understanding that I was suffering and going through hell. But I greatly appreciate my friends for being there. And now that I'm more open about this, I can have a great time healing and treating this, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. Someone knock on wood, please.